What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today in this video, I'm going to talk about why Gunna has become more popular after snitching. Now, do I think Gunna is all around more popular than what he was before he snitched? I'm not too sure about that. I don't think he's grown that much in terms of notoriety, but in terms of people supporting him and how much people like him, he is 1,000% more liked, more popular, more supported than he was before the snitching situation. Now, it's not like Gunna was ever a disliked character online. It's not like he's an unlikable guy and fans were always against him. He's not like Trippie Redd where he's really easily hated on and people just don't like him in general. That's never been Gunna. Gunna's always been likable and he's always kind of been an internet darling, but it has massively changed as of recently. He's grown even more popular and even more people are on his side. And I think that the main reason for this is just the fact that people like to root for the underdog. They like to root for the guy that technically isn't supposed to win. They like to root for the person who's going against the status quo. They like to root for the person who's going against the industry. And Gunna, because of the whole snitching situation, has kind of taken that role as the guy that's going against the industry. He's going against the status quo. He's going against everything that's supposed to be normal in rap music and flipped it on its head. And people will generally always root for that. That's why my biggest video on my channel is me saying, I'm glad that rappers are struggling to sell tickets, because I was going at the industry, the music industry, the established rappers, the millionaires. That's what people always like to see. And with Gunna, when it comes to the whole snitching situation, pretty much the entire music industry in unison turned their back on him. They essentially tried to throw him out. They said he's a rat. They don't want to work with him. They all unfollowed him. And whenever there's a big movement against one specific person by an industry, people tend to rally around that person. That's why somebody like NBA YoungBoy has such a diehard fan base, or at least that's part of the reason as to why. And also, we're in a situation where snitching isn't what it used to be back in the day. It's not a thing where most fans are like, oh my God, you snitched, I can never listen to your music. Most people honestly don't really care at this point. Sure, they're still going to make fun of you. They're going to make the jokes. It's not like you can just snitch and everyone's going to ignore it. That's still going to be a topic of conversation, especially if you're a rapper who's a street guy or raps about certain stuff. But just in general, it's not the kiss of death that it used to be back in the day, especially now with a lot of people online being like, bro, I would have did the same thing. People are putting themselves in Gunna's shoes saying, bro, I would have did the same thing. So now when Gunna comes out and people are crapping on this dude, the industry's turning their back on him. All the rappers don't want to work with him. Everybody's saying, Gunna did this, Gunna did that. Now it makes people go, well, I would have did the same thing in that situation. I support Gunna. And on top of that support that's coming in because now he's the underdog fighting against this massive industry, he also makes great music. Gunna's always been a great musician, so people were always going to rock with him regardless. Even if, let's say, he took the 6ix9ine route and was like, yeah, I'm a snitch, what about it, all this and stuff. Even if he went that route, people would still support him because his music is that good. But now that Gunna's kind of handling this situation perfectly by not really saying anything, he's not beefing with anybody, he's not calling people out and doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, he said some stuff in his songs, but that's about it. Since he's not really jumping out his body with the whole snitching thing, people can really get behind him because now not only is he the underdog fighting against this massive industry with all these status quo people who are boosted up by the record labels and boosted up by the streaming services, he also makes great music. So it makes it extremely easy for you to cheer for someone like that. And I must say, even I underestimated how much people would start to like Gunna and defend Gunna, because I thought people were going to be rocking with Young Thug. Whatever happens with Young Thug, they were going to go with that. They were going to be like, hey, Young Thug don't rock with him. We don't rock with Gunna. But even beyond the little audios that came out, which yes, they were real. They were not AI. Stop it. Even beyond those little audios that came out, people still support Gunna, and they were even saying this Young Thug album is trash, Gunna better, even though obviously Young Thug's in jail, so it's not like it's really, his full creative touch. They were even still comparing and contrasting the album from Young Thug and Gunna and being like, Gunna's so much better, this is why Gunna's out or whatever, and Gunna has a hit song and Young Thug doesn't. People have even started to take Gunna's side over Young Thug in this situation. And when the main people going against you are industry favorites at this point, let's just be honest. Somebody like a Lil Durk, somebody like a Lil Baby, when those two are the main people who people think of as guys going against Gunna, it's so much easier to root for Gunna. Why would you want to root for Lil Durk? He gets support from all the labels, all the industry. He has a feature with every single rapper in the game. Why would you want to root for Lil Baby? He's boosted up by everybody in the game. All the industry supports him. So it makes it a lot easier for the fans to root for Gunna. And that's why he's grown in terms of him being incredibly well liked on pretty much every space in the internet at this point. It's gotten to the point where I would even say most people are just meat riding at this point. Like, they're getting to the point where it's a little bit delusional and people are like, oh, Gunna's bigger than Lil Baby. He's not still. I mean, his album was better than Lil Baby's. I would say that, but he's not bigger than Lil Baby. He does have a hit song this year, and Lil Baby doesn't have one that lasted this long. But still, in general, people are just very much so on Gunna's side, and they're actively rooting against somebody like Lil Baby. They're actively rooting against somebody like Lil Durk. They're actively rooting against these industry giants who have kind of taken this opposing side to Gunna because they have all the support in the world. Why would I want to root for them? It's kind of like if you're watching football right now, what you're going to go root for the Chiefs? That's like, sure, that's the easy way out. It's like rooting for the Patriots back in the day. It's like being a Warriors fan in 2017, 2018. It's like, bro, that's the establishment. That's the guys who already got everything that they need. Why would you want to root for them when you could root for the underdog? Especially because the industry was actively kind of acting against Gunna at a certain point. Young Thug's album coming out a week later, that wasn't a mistake. It was supposed to come out the same day. So all of these things that have kind of come together and people looking out and saying, okay, all these rappers are going against Gunna. The industry's kind of, well, not really the industry in terms of like streaming services, but they're all kind of going against Gunna, especially the rappers. And so fans start to look at the landscape and they say, okay, all of these rappers are going against Gunna. And for what? For snitching? Well, maybe technically he didn't snitch. This might not even affect Young Thug. And also, I would probably do the same thing in that situation. And also, Gunna probably makes better music, if not equal music, to everybody in the industry. And now they're all kind of conspiring against him. Yeah, I think I'm a root for Gunna. I think it's just a much easier decision to make than rooting for somebody like Lil Baby. Because all the other rappers, they wanted Gunna to fail. They were pushing for Gunna to fail. They were saying, Gunna gonna come out, ain't nobody gonna rock with his music like that. Okay, he might be able to make a little cool song here and there, but he ain't gonna be able to do an album. He drops album. Oh, okay, he dropped a little album, but he ain't gonna have no songs that like do well on the charts or nothing. F You Mean goes top 5. Okay, well, he ain't even gonna be able to do no shows or nothing like that. He just did 2 sold out shows, one in LA and one in New York. Okay, well, now he ain't gonna be able to do a tour. So, they're just kind of continuing to move the goalposts. So people are rooting for Gunna as he breaks down every single one of these little barriers that they're putting up for him. People are always looking for somebody who's kind of going against the establishment. That's been the theme of like every single movie ever. That's been the theme of Star Wars, one of the biggest movies ever, just going against the establishment. People always love that story. And it doesn't change with hip hop. And now somebody like Gunna, who was accused of snitching, which used to be the touch of death back in the day, can now fill that role in this modern era. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you don't. Leave a comment down below. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Tell me why I'm smart. Leave a like. Leave a subscribe if you made it this far. I greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you let me know how you feel about this down below. If I'm right or if I'm wrong, whatever. But this is the end of my video. Hopefully you have a great day, a blessed day, and you're safe. Peace.